School 616. Fuck Earth Prime. This season, we're going multiversal. Super Nerdland brings you Graded Point 5.
Hey everybody, welcome to Graded Point 5. Yeah, I'm Jason. I'm here with Daryl and Wayne, as usual. Say hi, guys.
Hi, guys.
I knew you were going to do it.
Yeah.
I knew you were going to do it.
And I know, it was either you or me, man. One of us was going to do that. So
yeah.
I took the initiative for once in my life.
And it paid off. I'm proud of you, buddy.
No, it didn't. It never does, man.
So we're continuing our little cruise through the Marvel multiverse today. And it's going to be our last Marvel day for a couple weeks, so bear with us. We'll get to good stuff, don't worry. Before we get going, spoiler warnings, we're going to be spoiling shit from like 20 and 30 years ago kind of thing. So, yeah.
Can you really spoil a what if? I mean, you know, I don't know. It just doesn't. It sounds weird when you say, let's spoil this thing that never happened.
Well,
I get what you're saying. There may be somebody who actually had I'm going to read that next, and they listen to this podcast like, fuck. Yeah.
I just say it's a statistical probability that we're going to fucking ruin this for somebody.
Well, yeah.
You know, I mean.
Just like my life, anyway.
So we're going to be looking at two.
But we're still working on ruining that.
Yeah. We're going to be looking at two issues today, kind of split the show in half kind of thing. The first up from February of 1982, older than I am, but still younger than Daryl and Wayne. We have What If Volume 1, Number 31. What If Wolverine had killed the Hulk? This was written by Rick Margopoulos, pencils by Bud Budiansky, and edited by Tom DeFalco. This takes place in Earth 820,231. Jesus Christ, Marvel. Really?
Hey, Marvel. I'm going to do you a favor. I'm going to solid on this one. 1, 2, 3.
Not arbitrarily starting with 616.
Yeah. This is the Marvel universe worth with 616. I'm like, why is it so high?
I mean, even DC knows, to do Earth 1 and Earth 2 and shit.
I mean, and they went all the way up to 52. I mean, that's, that seems like a lot. So.
Right?
Yeah.
Marvel just skipped that shit. They're like, yeah, we're going for
randomized numbers.
Shit.
It's fine. I guarantee you they have a generator at some point. And they're like, hey guys, you want to see something cool?
Yeah. Oh, fuck.
But yeah, this goes back to Hulk's first meeting with Wolverine. Wolverine's first appearance, Hulk, 181?
At first I thought you said it goes back to Hulk's first beating of Wolverine. I said, well, that's not inaccurate.
But like the regular universe, people don't show up to stop the fight in time. The Wendigo doesn't show up. There's nobody to put Hulk and Logan to sleep. So they keep fighting, and Logan doesn't just try to stop and capture the Hulk, because he doesn't think it's possible. He just goes, fuck it, I'm going to kill him. So Logan kills the Hulk. Just, slashes the shit out of him, still Hulk stops moving. And gets faced with murder charges. So, Logan goes to McDonald Hudson, guarding... What?
He didn't face murder charges for killing the Hulk. That was in the line of duty, so that was okay.
Yeah.
He faced murder charges for killing a rando in a bar.
Oh, yeah. Fucking bar fight. So, literally, this What If is not even predicated.
That was the biggest thing I took away from it, is the Hulk dying had nothing to do with this issue.
Right.
Except for him dying at the beginning. That was it.
Right. Any of this could have gone down dude, you could have started it at the fucking bar fight scene and it would have been as effective.
It's literally what if Logan killed some rando in a bar.
Right.
Yeah.
So he kills the rando in a bar while gloating over killing the Hulk. and gets brought up in murder charges. So he goes to, Alpha Flight HQ and tries to get McDonald Hudson, Guardian, to try to help. And Guardian's just like, I can't do shit, dude.
Yeah, it's like, you kind of fucked up on this one, dude.
Yeah, you got to go through the courts, motherfucker.
So Logan, of course, being a fucking idiot, just storms out. And winds up getting recruited by Magneto. And thus the Ultimate Universe begun. I mean, wait, what? So Magneto recruits Logan and sends him to infiltrate the X-Men. I'm sorry, this keeps going back to Ultimate Marvel.
Yep.
It is kind of funny if you think about it, man. Like, more modern Marvel fucking mind their old what-if issues for fucking storylines and shit.
God, who did the Ultimate Universe? I keep forgetting the dude's name.
Mark Miller?
No, it wasn't
Wasn't it Mark Miller?
No.
He did Ultimates. I'm just thinking about
He didn't do Ultimate X-Men?
No.
Okay, let me go find out then.
No. Why did I say Jeff Johns? That's Green Lantern. I think what it was, those two were coming along at about the same time, and I get them confused.
Yeah, that's probably it.
It was Mark
Let's see.
Wait, that was Spider-Man.
No, it was Mark Miller, guys.
It was?
The Ultimate X-Men was Mark Miller. Yeah. The original run.
How much you want to bet he looked at that issue? He remembers reading that issue of that What If. He's like, I'm going to make an entire fucking story about this. Yeah, reality about this. It's going to be great.
So, yeah.
Dude, Robert Kirkman actually wrote issues 66 through 93.
So
interesting.
Yeah, Magneto sends Logan to infiltrate the X-Men. And Logan, infiltrates, starts working with the team, training with them, fights Sentinels. And they're like, yeah, Wolverine's fucking awesome, man. Check this shit out, right?
Gets thirsty for Jean.
Yeah, well...
Dude, I like this panel right here. Dude, can I say something real quick?
Yeah.
I'm reading this panel. And Wolverine's change of heart literally seems to have to do with all the fucking praise they're lavishing on him. Like,
they really like
yeah. Yeah.
So comes time for the double cross, and Logan's just like, nah, bitch, and fucking goes at Magneto. And somehow they kill each other, despite the fact that Logan's full of this thing called metal.
Yeah. That
Magneto really could have been able to keep him as far away as he wanted.
It also, why was there
also how Ultimatum went? Fucking Wolverine kills Magneto.
And also, when did we turn off Wolverine's healing factor?
Right.
Oh, got stabbed in the neck. I can't recover. Huh?
This motherfucker has been blown up to a fucking skeleton and brain.
Yeah.
And lived.
Right, and this extreme vulnerability, in spite of his healing factor, is going to play out in the next issue we talk about too. It's Marvel kind of like I know the extent of his powers weren't quite as fleshed out at this point, but still, this is this is kind of ridiculous.
The power creep hadn't really crept in as much.
It's true. Yeah. But still, I mean, even then, I want to say there were issues of X-Men where he had been put through the ringer. Mm-hmm. More so than
the fucking fight with the Hellfire Club.
Exactly. I mean, they fucking what did that one guy do? Make his mask so he just fell through to the sewers.
Yeah, it was what was it, Leland?
Leland, yeah, he just went. Yeah, he went right through the sewers, and basically, impact that would have killed anybody. Mm-hmm. And he just all right, that's enough of that, and just gets up and I'm gonna fuck you up now because fuck you.
But beyond the real gist that we need to take away from this is Hulk had fuck all to do with it.
Right.
It was literally Wolverine had killed the Hulk and then killed some fucking rando in a bar.
Wasn't there two pages in that he just killed the Hulk.
And his motivation for killing the Hulk's funny. Dude's been fucking with me, so I'm gonna fucking murk him.
Right? It's honestly, the Hulk was incidental. This was only thing it did was raise Logan's fucking self-esteem and shit. It's I killed the Hulk, I'm fucking awesome. So he goes into a bar and starts bragging. Dude, that whole fucking 2-page thing could have just been changed over to Wolverine getting a blowjob.
Yep.
Right.
Just anything to bring up his fucking, feelings of self-importance at the moment.
Yep.
Right. Exactly. Exactly. It was the catalyst for, it put him in that mindset in the bar where he was bragging and that guy took issue with it and fucked with him and shit. But that could have been literally anything. That it was the Hulk in particular. Mm-hmm. It was insignificant. It didn't matter. It was just there for, I guess, the shock value. Which in an issue of a comic, published in 1982 doesn't amount to much. Yeah, I don't know. But yeah, ultimately the events, right? The premise that drives the book was inconsequential. Ultimately,
it's remember which was it? Was it in that issue that they had a backup issue?
Yeah. It was like Fantastic Four or some shit.
That had more consequences.
Right.
That was what if the Fantastic Four never formed, right?
Yeah.
The backup issue had more consequences in it than the fucking main story.
Honestly, I enjoyed the backup story more, infinitely more.
I mean, it's like, basically, hey, the Fantastic Four didn't form because that didn't happen. XYZ didn't happen. It's like there's no Thor, there's no
Spider-Man.
No Spider-Man, no Hulk, no Iron Man. It just goes through a progression of if the Fantastic Four had not formed a team, then this shit would have probably happened.
Right.
But the Hulk is like, the two things that went differently is Wolverine killed a guy, which I'm sorry, that doesn't seem very abnormal to me. Hey guys, I mean, I imagine at Department K, which was that's where the Canadian where Alpha Flight essentially hails from, because
I thought it was Department H.
I think it's Department K. It might be Department H. I don't know. But either way.
H.
Either way, it doesn't really matter. A, K, B, element of P, it don't really matter. I mean, because the whole thing is the whole situation of Alpha Flight was the predication that Wolverine was going to lead the team.
Yeah.
It was never meant to be Hudson's team. It was supposed to be Wolverine's team. And he fucked off. That's why he didn't do it. So I'd imagine, and of course we're talking about, James Hudson and his wife, took care of Logan for 2-3 years before they even decided to fucking the idea of Alpha Flight and all that shit. I can imagine it's Logan killed another guy. Oh, Logan.
Right.
You're not supposed to do that.
And see, I thought it would have been more interesting and more appropriate actually to have the book focus on the consequences as they apply to Alpha Flight. Of Logan fucking off and shit. That would have made for a more, I don't know, it would have made more sense.
It could have been Alpha Flight didn't form because of his actions. And shit like that, I mean, because my thing is putting him in a situation where he just joins the original X-Men was kind of, I mean, joins, through subterfuge, obviously, but that was silly. That was dumb.
Right.
And plus, I like that. I think Jason will appreciate this. I like that Magneto had no nuance whatsoever.
Right.
It was Kevin infiltrated him. We're gonna fucking kill the X-Men. He never wanted to kill the X-Men. He just wanted them out of the way.
Right.
That was pretty much the extent of why Magneto always fought the X-Men. He's like, you're in my way of what I want, so I want you out of the way, but I don't want you to get killed because you're fellow mutants.
Wayne, here's a bit of information. Look at the writers between the two. The Wolverine story was written by Rick Margopoulos, who had done... I don't know. I can't think of anything off the top of my head. He did 2 issues of What If for Marvel, and that was it.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yep. And the What If There's No Fantastic Four, Bill Matlow. And Roger Stern.
Oh, well.
If I could say anything to this issue's credit, it's that the art isn't bad.
Yeah.
I mean, they invoke the that style from the 70s.
It's Bob Budiansky. Bud Budiansky. What do you expect? I can't read my own fucking notes, man. Yeah, it's Bud Budiansky. I mean, even when I was a kid, I knew who the hell he was.
Right.
Just because he's got such a really good style.
Mm-hmm. Right. Just look at that Wendigo on the first page. That's great.
Yeah. I see, that's another thing. The Wendigo, did we just forget the Wendigo?
He's not important to the story.
Wow.
The whole reason both of them were there was because of the fucking Wendigo.
I am fucking retard. It is Bob.
Yeah, it's Bob.
I am.
Oh, you put Bud instead of Bob?
Yep. That would be a little bit of dyslexia on my part.
That's fine. We'll take it out in post.
Yeah.
That's not dyslexia, man.
I literally just transposed the U in his name.
Oh, okay. And then added a D? Bob and Bud?
Well, no, I took like the first 3 letters of his last name and just...
You just wanted to say,
you
just wanted a chance to say Bud. That's all.
And
that's probably what happened. You probably took the Budiansky part, and then like was like, you just like threw it together, and that's what happened.
Yeah,
whatever. It don't matter.
Now we're gonna spend more time analyzing his dyslexia than the actual comic book itself.
You see, Jason.
There's just not enough here.
Well, there's some exercises you can do, Jason, to help you. Never mind.
But there's just not a lot in this book that's really of any significant consequence.
It's like I said in the art.
Right.
Yeah, the art was good, but I don't get, like, they're both there. I mean, my understanding, the original story, they were both there because the Wendigo was fucking shit up, right?
Mm-hmm. I know Wolverine was hunting him down.
I like how Wolverine kills the Hulk. It's like, oh, I'm gonna go drink a beer now.
Yeah.
What? Come back here.
Like
the Wendigo's still out there chowing down on people.
Exactly.
It's all good.
The extrapolated storyline, it's like, what about shit like the Wendigo or the other characters that Hulk is keeping in check, like the leader, the Abomination?
But dude, if you look on the second page, the Wendigo's lying there just for no reason. Something happened to him off panel.
Something tells me,
Jesus Christ.
That, Rick Margopoulos just wanted to write an X-Men story.
Right.
Like a what if X-Men story, but the editor didn't go for it, and he said, well, what about the Hulk? They're like, brilliant.
Now, I will say this. There is a little bit of dialogue that says the authorities arrived later and disposed of the Wendigo, and also hauled off the Hulk's corpse. That's a little morbid.
And another thing about the Hulk thing, like, I mean, no consequences. I think they showed something about, like, Betty was upset.
Yeah.
And stuff like that.
And
but that was like
Ross.
One panel.
Well, it's not that. It's like half a page.
Yeah, but still, it's just like
it's all 4 panels.
Yeah, once again, inconsequential to the Hulk. Like, because I'm trying to think, like, isn't there some shit that the Hulk was supposed to do right after that it would have been, like,
big and world changing?
Yeah, it's like, we've had that discussion before, but kind of consequential to the fact that only the Hulk could have dealt with that situation.
Mm-hmm.
Is that it's like no, we're going to go tell an X-Men story. It'd have been okay to tell a dual story, like one page is doing with it, and then they could converge it. I mean, that would have been interesting. Like, the stories end up reconverging, and it's like, something because Logan fucked up, he has to deal with the issue that the Hulk was supposed to deal with.
There's something else we've all been missing here.
Mm-hmm.
Hulk has a healing factor too.
See, that's what I got me. I was like, could he really have been killed?
If he'd been beheaded, maybe.
Yeah,
but he's talking about raking at his neck and shit, and I'm thinking, like, really?
And?
I was looking through some art because thinking about the next next part of this is one of the issues I have problems with that. But anyway, it's not good at the moment. But the thing is, like, one of the panels shows Wolverine literally stabbing Hulk in the top of his head. And the Hulk goes and falls to his knees, but he got better.
Right. Of course, this was they go out of their way to kind of explain that he's a different, more powerful Hulk.
And what really brought me to Daryl's conclusion about he just wanted to make an X-Men story?
Mm-hmm.
When you look at the parts where he's fighting the Hulk, he's in the the classic, like, utter classic first appearance costume with the fucking whiskers and everything.
Yeah.
But for no real reason, when he joins the X-Men, he gets the normal yellow and blue.
Yeah, just because Gene said your costume is like weird or something like that, and so he
you look retarded.
Like, you look retarded. I was like, so says the idiot in the fucking gold and blue
I mean, Gene, your mask isn't that far removed from Wolverine's. Okay?
That's another thing that I think about. They were in their original founding costumes. They weren't even in their second costumes, because by that time period, it was the 70s. They would have had their second costumes by then.
Angel? No, they were all in their secondary costumes.
They were?
Yeah.
Oh, maybe I wasn't paying attention.
Except for Iceman, because there was never any difference with him.
Right?
He's just a big block of white. I mean, literally, if you put Iceman and Martin X from fucking Guardians of the Galaxy next to him, I couldn't tell them apart.
Right?
Oh, wait, sorry.
Aside from the X on his belt.
Sorry, Martin X is the one that's drawn better.
Oh.
Got him.
Well, at least it's not, original 60s Frosty the Snowman.
Yeah.
But no, Angel's got his blue and white with the big old halo in the middle. Jean's in her weird Wolverine-esque fucking winged mask. And the green...
That's a halo? I thought that was a ring from Sonic the Hedgehog, man.
There's no difference.
Good to know.
None at all. Gotta go fast.
Yeah.
But yeah, this issue, it was kind of a slog for me. And the dialogue, while era appropriate, was just kind of too wordy and too explainy and too cheesy. And the story was just inconsequential. And the only thing that really changed is like Wolverine and Magneto ended up dead by the end of the issue. And same with the Hulk. But it's kind of hard to keep track of the significance of that, given that it's literally has no real effect on the story.
There is one thing I actually do like about the story, and that's the big old fucking fight at the end between the X-Men and the Brotherhood.
Mm-hmm. Well,
like how like some of the characters get around the powers of the Brotherhood, just between fuck it, Mastermind's an illusionist, jump through it. But like
right.
Wolverine versus the Hulk, versus the Blob, and
leverages
Wolverine
his power to
somehow manages to kick Blob's ass without cutting him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Iceman gets like stymied by Eunice, the Untouchable, and fucking Cyclops. Nope, I got this shit. 2 panels he's dealt with.
Mm-hmm.
Jean taking out Lorelei by wrapping her own hair. That kind of stuff was actually kind of nice to see.
Oh shit, that's Lorelei.
Yeah. But then, Magneto overpowering everyone only to get murked by Wolverine. Yeah.
Well, see, there was a indication way early on, and this is me going way back, that while he could stop, the movies have kind of ruined it for Wolverine. It's like, because adamantium is kind of like an unknown metal at that point, and Magneto could do some things for it, he couldn't manipulate it like he could other metals. And he had to learn to manipulate. That's, we eventually got to Fatal Attractions, right? When he just ripped it out of his ripped it off his skeleton.
Yeah.
But for the longest time, it was basically like, I can kind of, sort of stop him, slow him down, but it's not, a permanent situation kind of thing. So I could kind of see where, it was like, of course, I said, what are you going to try to say? The adamantium's got copper properties where he just can't do fuck all with it, you know what I mean? Whatever,
Nobody
man.
could stop the copper top.
Yeah. But you get what I'm saying? It's like, at that point, he wasn't like in full, because, in the movies, they always show, he instantly is able to, just hang Wolverine out to dry because of a, adamantium skeleton. And
the funniest part, though, is like, between the time where Magneto makes Wolverine stab himself, there's like 1, 2, 3 panels.
Yep.
In modern Marvel, in that time, Wolverine would have fucking healed the damage, gotten up and been like pissing on Magneto's corpse.
Yeah.
There was a. That's the thing. When I gotta throw this real quick because, of course, this is much later on. But there was a issue when it was New Avengers had come out, and Spider-Woman stabbed Wolverine in his throat with his claws.
Yep.
And he was like, he got stabbed, and then it's like after about 3 or 4 panels, you hear him mumbling. He's like, and he's like, "What is he saying?" And then like I think Spider-Man said, "Logan, give your vocal cords a few more seconds to heal." And then he finally said, "She stabbed me with my own claws."
And dude, even like 10 years before that, remember when Marrow joined the X-Men and fucking just straight up stabbed Wolverine?
Stabbed him in the throat with the bone. Yep. Yeah.
And he just popped it out, and a few seconds later, he was talking.
Yep. And then
wasn't that the ass end of the feral Wolverine shit too?
Yeah.
So
he was like getting control of his healing factor too at that point. So
right.
Literally in this, neither of the 2 out of 3 characters that died should not have died.
Yeah.
Even back then when Wolverine was at his weaker point, and Hulk was inconsistently written back then, neither of them should have fucking died.
Right.
Magneto, he should have died.
Yeah.
And this is just another example of kind of how the what if issues kind of strain the premise a little bit. You know, the books were at their best when they just, you know, they took things in a natural direction, you know, and the consequences made sense and they were relevant to the event that kicked them off and shit. But in this case, you know, it's forcing a premise.
It's exactly like the backup issue we were talking about. Like, Fantastic Four doesn't form because Ben said no.
Right.
You know,
exactly.
It was literally like one thing changed a whole lot of shit. You know,
right.
And that's the kind of intended consequences you want to hear about. Like I said, I'll go through it one more time. Thor didn't, Eric Masterson. Was it Eric Masterson? No. Donald Blake did not find, the hammer. Yeah. He did not become Thor. Tony Stark didn't go to Vietnam to get injured so he could become Iron Man. Spider-Man didn't go to the Peter Parker didn't go to the science fair because of all the damage that thing was doing, so he didn't become Spider-Man. The list goes on and on. It's like basically that event wiped out the Marvel universe.
Right, and those were all direct consequences and shit.
Right,
like plausible direct consequences.
Yeah.
It wasn't straining the limits of your fucking suspension of disbelief to tell you a story that ultimately really didn't have fucking anything to do with it,
Because if I was telling that particular backup issue, I would have ended it with the coming of Galactus because there had been nobody to stop him.
Oh,
and the world gets eaten.
Exactly. Yeah, it would have been the end of Earth. That was it.
Or even just have the final panel with fucking Silver Surfer out in space looking down on Earth.
Actually, right, exactly. No, that's not true. I know one person who could have probably done it without the Fantastic Four.
Who that?
And without the Fantastic Four to be in his way, the world would have been his.
Yeah.
Doom.
Yep.
Dr. Doom.
Doom.
Yeah.
And let's be fair though, Reed still would have been out there,
being Reed, like the other three would have stayed together in some form.
Because at the end of that one, they had lost their powers except for Thing.
Yeah.
The other
three had lost their powers. Yeah.
But the thing is, Reed's intelligence is not entirely.
Right.
It's It's partially due to his brain's plasticity.
Yeah.
But he's
still a brilliant scientist.
On Earth. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
I still think even depowered, the three of those, and let's put Doom in as number 4.
Yeah.
Probably could have taken the whole situation and dealt with it.
Mm-hmm. But Doom would have used it to his advantage, and he would have been...
Doom would have stolen the power cosmic earlier.
Yep, and he would have conquered Earth, and it'd have been...
And beat the living shit out of Galactus.
Yeah.
Somehow.
Right.
Or he'd have gained knowledge of the nullifier and shit like that, it'd have been... Yeah.
It just would have been, that is an interesting backup story.
Fantastic Four didn't actually beat Galactus. It was Watcher.
Yep.
He was just using the Fantastic Four as a proxy.
And there actually is an issue that we could circle around to someday that actually addresses that.
Sure.
Of what
the
if,
Avengers. What if the Avengers had confronted Galactus? Yeah.
Well, no, it's legit. What if the Watcher? He basically goes. He defeats Galactus, goes on trial, and ends up becoming Galactus. As his penance. So.
Yeah, but I was thinking about the what if the Avengers had confronted Galactus the first time.
I don't think I'd read that one.
Essentially, the premise was real quick. The premise was there was no Fantastic Four, but the Avengers did form, and they were the ones that confronted Galactus. When he ended up, the Watcher ended up sending Iron Man to get the Ultimate Nullifier. Unfortunately, Galactus's security system detected metal, but it didn't detect heat. And so they weren't able to get the Ultimate Nullifier, and I'm gonna not spoil the ending on that one, but some shit went different.
Yeah. A lot of shit went different.
Yeah.
Like way fucking different. Let's see, we've been talking about this one for about half an hour.
Yeah.
So if you guys want to switch off to the next related issue.
Hold on a minute, let me...
The one that, in my opinion, comes off way worse.
Well, this,
I mean...
It's coming from the 80s, I mean, from a
Yeah,
the
I think
80s.
it was the 90s.
Well, the story...
See,
the
this
original story
one
was
came out in
80s,
1993.
Yeah, it came out in 93, but I think 340 came out. Let me check.
Yeah.
Shit, give me a second here.
No worries. But man, this one.
Alright.
Hey.
This is from June 1993. This is What If Volume 2, Number 50. What If the Hulk had killed Wolverine? Written by John Arcudi, pencils by Armando Gil, editor Craig Anderson, and we're talking about Earth 93,600.
And this was based off the events, and I was right. February of 1988, excuse me.
88, yeah.
Incredible Hulk.
What was it, Fall of the Mutants?
Yeah, Incredible Hulk Volume 1, number 340, which was beautifully written, beautifully cover art by Todd McFarlane.
Yeah.
So.
Oh, that's the that
classic.
explains a lot about the art in this issue.
Yeah. Yeah.
This is back in the Grey Hulk days when Hulk only turned into Hulk at night. Which never really made any fucking sense to me.
Yeah.
But Hulk and Wolverine do their normal fucking throwdown, like, every time they meet. And, like, they wind up shit-talking each other so bad that they just, instead of walking away like they did in normal reality, they just kept fucking fighting. And, like, Wolverine starts, slashing Hulk. Hulk keeps getting pissed off, and just winds up fucking smashing the shit out of Wolverine's head and everything. Until he pops out a vertebrae and severs Logan's spinal cord, because that would actually somehow kill him. Because healing factors don't.
They don't real, man. Come on. We know this.
So, yep. And instead of showing up earlier when they were supposed to drive Hulk off, Rick Jones and Clay Quartermain show up late and drive Hulk off from Wolverine's body. So
Yeah, they were busy sucking each other off behind the... Anyway, what?
So, like, the events of Fall of the Mutants start happening. The X-Men go to fight the adversary, and because they don't have Wolverine, 3 of them are killed. And the adversary goes, hey, there's a big old fucking gray guy over there. It's kicking some ass. I'm going to use him.
Yeah.
I'm going to play him against Roma. And Roma's people, which is the X-Men. The adversary leads Hulk to Dallas to put him in the middle of the fight with the X-Men. But on the way, Wolverine beats up a T-Rex, which was actually kind of funny.
Or the Hulk does, yeah.
Sorry. Hulk beats up a T-Rex.
I like how he says, he was basically like, well, that's something you don't see every day.
Yeah, it's like, oh, that's fucking new.
This is wild sunshine. That ain't sunshine at night. And a tropical jungle in the middle of Dallas. Can't get much weirder than this. And then the fucking T-Rex shows up.
Yeah,
because Grey Hulk was really known for his little quips,
Right.
So Wolverine
Grey Hulk was smarter than Green, but
he was more of a brute, though. Yeah. I mean, the Mr. Fix-It shit and all that.
I mean, like I said, the guy was literally a fucking bouncer and shit.
Yeah.
So Hulk finds a bunch of tribesmen that are pawns of the adversaries, and they start worshiping Hulk. Like, revering him as, like, this big fucking great thing. He's like, I'm gonna stay here with these guys. And a bunch of shit happens. Rogue winds up going on a vengeance run against the Hulk, and Hulk nearly fucking kills her. And, the remainders of the X-Men and Freedom Force show up and start fighting the Hulk. Hulk straight up kills Blob, Pyro, Avalanche, and Super Saber. And it's really not looking good. And then in walks fucking Rick Jones.
Yeah.
And the adversary's like, hell no. And a fake Wolverine shows up and stabs Rick. Turns out it's not Rick, it's Mystique. Mystique dies. The fake Hulk turns out to be the adversary.
Fake Wolverine.
And,
Dyslexia again.
Yeah.
It's fine. It's whatever.
Yeah, no, it is. Yeah. I know, right? Given this story, it doesn't really matter.
I'm on autopilot here. I don't like this fucking story. I thought it was...
Yeah. This was even weaker than the first one.
It's literally was it Carl from Aqua Teen Hunger Force? Yeah, go ahead. It don't matter. None of this matters.
But dude, okay, whereas the first one, started with the premise and then it went off in its own direction. This one tries to make everything make sense by saying that Wolverine was like an important pawn on the playing field between the adversary and Roma and shit like that, so that everything else that follows is a consequence of him being taken off the playing field. But that is a flimsy fucking justification.
And the other thing that really...
Let me power through the end of this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, adversary attacks, trying to kill everybody. And he managed to actually kill Havoc, which was pretty cool, because fuck Havoc. So, Forge and Storm show up, having freed themselves, and attack the adversary. Forge uses his own soul to banish the adversary, which kills him. Not the adversary, Forge. Forge is fucking dead, because this has to have a high body count for some reason.
Right. And he sacrifices his soul to seal him.
Yeah,
it's 90s.
Conveniently, Hulk turns back into Banner, who's talking to, who was it, like Stonewall or some shit?
Yeah.
And he's like, what the fuck happened? And Stonewall's like, you killed a bunch of people. You're under arrest.
Yeah. He's like, murder? What?
What have I done?
And he was placed in government custody.
I'm sure that'll go well until the night at night when he turns back into the Hulk and just walks out because
Storm's left to fucking cry over a dead Forge, and the X-Men are depleted, and Freedom Force is depleted, and I closed this fucking issue, and after
and we were all depleted after reading it.
I have a question. Anybody just tired of Colossus just getting jobbed?
Right? Jesus Christ!
I mean, he is the heavy of the fucking X-Men, and he just every time he goes up against somebody, a little a modicum of strength. And I'm not trying to say Hulk is weak, obviously, but this isn't the strongest the Hulk is. I mean, the Gray Hulk is strong, but he's just not Rage Hulk strong.
Yeah.
Right.
I would think that Colossus could take a few hits before going down.
Yeah.
Gray Hulk, probably the two of them would have gone fucking blow for blow.
Yeah.
This is yet another example of them kind of nerfing characters to make
to satisfy the
story and shit.
The narrative,
yeah. But I did find one redeeming factor in this comic. The fucking panel where the adversary kills Alex. It has the onomatopoeia Shag Geek. Shageek. And I'm going to use that as a fucking reaction pick when I want to get online. Yes, please do, Shag Geeks. But yeah, this issue is fucking
dude, all the onomatopoeias are fucking horrible in this.
Yes.
Shaq? They use Shaq.
Or Zach. Zach's reading this going what did I have to do with this?
Zook.
Zook, yes. Dax.
Oh wait, there's the normal snicked. That actually works.
And a wonk.
Pop, poof.
Pop, poof.
For the sound of Hulk punching someone.
Also, when he hit them and they went poof. I mean, I guess.
They use poof multiple times.
And then when he fucking wrecks the blob, it's why. And boom. God damn it. This is...
At least it didn't have the wank from Captain America, right?
Oh, and there's a Kong.
You to wank.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. But this whole thing, man, the art is some weird permutation of Todd McFarlane with some Frank Miller in there just randomly, and it doesn't work, and it's terrible, and I hate it. And oh god, yeah, I alone was enough to make this hard to read.
I always have a problem with artwork, especially when they're doing muscle characters, where they give muscles on their muscles and it looks retarded.
Yeah.
I mean, I was okay, these characters have established musculature. You have a something to refer off of.
Yeah, a character reference guide.
They're not fucking Scott Steiner out here,
Yeah. You know what really fucks with me about this is how inconsistent Hulk is written. At times he acts like the savage fucking Green Hulk, Then sometimes he's written like the semi-intelligent Grey Hulk. And then like the next page he's back to Savage Hulk. And,
I mean, it was literally like he killed Wolverine. He's like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
The whole thing is like, damn it. You know, I didn't mean to do that. You know, it's like, then he fucks off because he's like scared. You know, he's like, I fucked up. I need to go. You know, and then he's like, oh, I better go back. What was it like? I need to go back and straighten this out or something like that. And then he gets more fucked up.
Yeah. Also, who besides me found it fucking bogus that Rogue thought that kissing Hulk could drain him?
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of true to her character. She would have tried it, but
if anything, her kissing Hulk should have probably fucking turned him back into Banner. Because, I mean, Rogue is a hot woman.
If anything,
yeah, like
if she did,
calm all of a sudden.
If she did drain him, she would have absorbed his powers and memories, and she would have raged out.
Yep.
Right.
Which I think would have been.
That's what I was expecting to happen too.
Yeah, and that would have been a more awesome way to go about it. You know.
Yeah. But then he just straight beats the fuck out of her for a little bit, and
and probably absorbing his powers is the only thing that kept her alive. In all honesty,
right? Oh, but it was. There's not much I can say because, like, usually, even like in the last issue, I found some redeeming stuff. Like the art was good. You know, it wasn't an offensively bad story, but it makes weird excuses for itself. It's just inconsistent. The art's terrible. Oh, the story is ultimately inconsequential.
One other thing. Nobody cares about Forge.
Right.
Except for Storm.
Well, even then, she's like, well, you know, I heard there's this prince in Wakanda or this king in Wakanda, though. I mean, that's like in a couple more years, Bishop would have showed up anyway, so it wouldn't matter.
Yeah, like this,
Well, what I meant, like, but Jason, when I meant when nobody cares about Forge, I mean us, the reader. Nobody cares.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Forge.
Talk about a guy who has this, inconsistent powers. You know, 1 minute technopath. Second, I do shamanism apparently. Oh.
Yeah.
I mean,
also in terms of things that are inconsistent, Hulk's pants. Why is it we turn back into Banner, his jeans shrunk to a normal size?
It's unstable molecules, fam.
Hulk is like 8 times bigger.
Yep.
And those pants were fitting him just fine then. When he turned back into Banner, he should have been wearing fucking MC Hammer pants.
People dog on it, but that's the one thing I kind of liked about the Incredible Hulk movie with Ed Norton. Was like the whole thing's like, make sure the pants are stretchy and shit like that. You know, it's like little things you want to think about. Like, oh yeah, he probably would need you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm looking at this and I'm just there's not much material here to talk about for me anyway. I've already said my piece. It's
who's saying anything about talking about? We're just gonna rip on it, dude.
Well, I've already done that. Oh god,
I have yet to begin to rip on this shit.
Like, dude, look, when the panel at the end when Bruce Banner is turning back into or the Hulk's turning back into Banner.
Yeah, it's fucking painful to even look at.
In one fucking piece of the transition, he looks like a gray Stephen Hawking. It's oh man. Oh god.
I mean, he's just eating a dinosaur heart too. It's like, this works.
To be honest, that would be like the last part I'd be like eating. I'd be like, cook me some of that fucking thigh meat, bitch. Or better yet, breast meat. I want fucking white meat off a dinosaur, motherfucker.
I'm trying to mine this for interesting takes, but god, it doesn't really.
The artwork it's so horrible.
There's one panel I'm going to show you guys. Well, let me find it. You guys talk amongst yourselves while I find the page.
Like, I'm just going. Like, this guy has no idea how to draw faces.
Yeah, they kind of go all over the place, don't they? The faces is like
Rogue's got like a man jaw.
Oh God, yes. There's this one panel in particular that makes me laugh every time I look at it, and I gotta find it because it's the worst face I've ever seen in the entirety of fucking comic books.
Yeah, oddly, the T-Rex looks fine.
Yeah.
It's like this guy was like an 8-year-old that really knew how to draw dinosaurs, but that was it.
and just he can't keep the characters on model either. Like, it's really inconsistent from page to page. Like, he's trying to draw the Hulk like Todd McFarlane did, and yet he can't do it. And there's one page that it looks like fucking the Hulk's brow ridge is just a giant tumor growing out of his fucking forehead, and...
Oh, like right here, where he's got his arms up when he's fighting Wolverine, and he's got like these tumors coming out the sides of him. Like, yeah! Dude, even Scott Steiner never looked this bad.
It's... Oh my god. And then there's one where he looks like a fucking diseased gorilla. And I'm trying to find this panel because it just struck me as being... Oh, yeah, so it's page 32. The fucking next to last panel on that page. I don't know how any of that's supposed to work. Like, his mouth looks like it's venturing off the fucking panel.
Oh, dude, while we're here, let's look at the cover for a second.
Yeah.
This is so fucking 90s. The foil embossed cover.
I was gonna say something about that. I was like, look at this piece of shit.
Gimmick covers, I'm sorry, having grown up during this era, gimmick covers suck.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I can't tell you how many times they were done wrong. I can't even tell you how many times they were done right because I can't think of any.
I can.
Did you ever notice, though, that these covers were usually attached to comic books that weren't worth half a damn?
Yeah. Well, wait, you can actually think of times that were good?
Uh-huh.
Let's see this.
Yeah, fucking X-Men Alpha.
No,
the Age of Apocalypse stuff.
Yeah, that stuff was good because they didn't like overtake the artwork with foil.
Right.
Okay.
But another one was good was during the Fatal Attractions. They didn't put it on they put it on a card on the book.
Oh yeah, those little holographic cards. Those were all right. Yeah.
Yeah. Because it didn't. Once again, you're not covering the art.
Right.
But I'm thinking like the Spider-Man anniversary shit they did, where the hologram took up 3/4 of the cover.
Yeah.
That was fucking terrible.
And I'm looking at this cover and I'm noticing Wolverine was also a vampire.
Yeah, he had fangs.
Yeah. So wait, this cover, what this cover is telling me is that Wolverine had adamantium covering his teeth.
Yep.
He had a fucking adamantium grill.
Bling bling.
Yeah. Oh man. Yeah, but the cover is actually legit the best thing about the book. Oh, and that's bad. Look at how tiny Wolverine's ribcage is.
See, also the cover makes you think that like he killed him, but then he came back as a skeleton.
Yeah,
you're just kind of
some Army of Darkness shit.
Yeah.
Fucking Ash read the words wrong, and fucking Wolverine came back as a skeleton. Oh God. Oh yeah, this is about all I've got. I can't do this anymore. Next time, let's pick a good comic, guys.
Don't worry, next week's comic is so much better than this.
Yeah.
It needs to be, or else I'm gonna kill myself. I'm just saying, man. I might be hanging from a tree this time next week if we don't do a good comic.
You'll enjoy this one. I think you'll enjoy the next one.
But god damn, like, okay. What did we get out of both of these issues? One, you kill Hulk and nothing fucking matters.
Yeah.
Two, you kill Wolverine and half of the X-Men wind up dead.
Yeah. But the fucked up thing is it ultimately didn't matter because it was like it was forced. It was fucking forced. They were like, "Oh, he was going to play a great role in the events to come, and now that he's dead, all this shit's going to go down." But like, you didn't earn it, motherfuckers. You know, you just it was forced and just,
now. I would have liked it more if they had done this. What if, Hulk had killed Wolverine off the same battle they did with the last one, the first meeting,
right?
Because that would have changed a lot of shit. Like Wolverine wouldn't have been there for like the Phoenix Saga, or any of the major events of the X-Men over the next 30 fucking years.
Mm-hmm.
Well, at this point in time, it would have only been like 15.
Yeah.
But you get the point.
Mm-hmm.
There would have been a lot of shit between those two issues. Like between, the first appearance and what would have been the death of Wolverine and the publishing date that Wolverine just was not there for when he would have made a difference. The Hellfire Club?
Yep.
That would have went completely different if Wolverine hadn't have crawled out of that sewer.
Yep. They'd have been fucked.
It'd have been fucked. The world would have been destroyed.
Yep, because then the Phoenix would have just went crazy and... Yep.
So there's more natural ways to get a bigger and grander fucking story. Instead of going, hey, let's just do Follow the Mutants because it's more, recent.
Mm-hmm.
And that's bullshit. That and, how do I put this? It proved Follow the Mutants could have been written differently and not just been used as a soft reboot for the X-Men.
Yep.
By sending them to the Australian outback and all that shit, the old Reavers headquarters.
Mm-hmm. I'm sorry. I laugh at that because... Anyway. Yeah. I laugh at that because that was just such a funny time of X-Men.
It really was. Like, wasn't that around time like Dazzler showed up?
Dazzler, Psylocke, before she became, got the Asian body.
Yeah.
She was still...
I just remember
that was another thing
from that era.
If you notice when it shows Psylocke in that issue, in that whole... she's Asian.
Hold on a sec.
That didn't happen yet!
Son of a bitch!
Let's see. Scrolling through.
She's wearing the British clothing, but her face is Asian.
Yeah.
But that didn't.
But how can you tell? He's a shitty artist.
True.
But still, I mean, you could.
The eyes.
Yeah, the eyes. Yeah, I mean, that was the thing. You could tell that they drew Psylocke as Asian, even though that's not.
That didn't happen till like what 6-7 years after Fall of the Mutants.
Probably 3 or 4, but yeah, it wasn't. It was in the early '90s. It was like right before the reboot of the Blue and Gold. So,
dude, I'm just feeling my energy drain as I look at this book, and I understand how Superman feels when exposed to kryptonite. It's that fucking gradual drain of like your life essence. Holy fuck!
This is all terrible.
Yeah, it's
bueno.
Yeah, right. I feel violated, man. I feel like bad things have happened to us, and like we're gonna carry this for years, man. We're gonna need therapy. I mean, honestly, it might sound to the listeners like I'm belaboring the point or it's hyperbole, but these are really almost insultingly bad issues. The first one less so, but it's still got its issues. This one is just bad from cover to cover. It is. Yeah.
It'll be okay. The nail is next week.
Yeah, baby.
Yeah, and well, you know what? I think we're just gonna call it here. On that note, join us next time. We're going to do JLA the Nail because that shit kicks ass.
Yeah. And we're tired of, all the self-harm.
And Daryl's never read it, so he gets to go on a journey.
Yeah, buddy.
You'll enjoy it.
I think, yeah.
You really will.
I mean, yeah, and the great thing is I've got a week to get around to it, so I can regain a little bit of my sanity after this fucking this mess. Yeah.
So, on that note, please support your local comic shops, support the Comic Book Legal Defense Fund, support us as we go through the process of getting rid of the psychological drama that was these 2 issues.
Yes, please, we need your support now more than ever. Listen to this. If you liked it, fucking go to graded.5 on the Twitters and leave a comment. Enjoy it.
You know what? If you watched this episode and you thought there might have been redeeming value to it, go back and watch one of our other ones, please.
Yeah.
Or listen to, whatever. Watch. I don't give a fuck.
We can stare at the screen while it's playing. Like, just imagine,
Put one of put one of those like fireplace screensavers on your screen. It's like, have that crackling in the background while you're listening to our melodious tones.
With like a rum and coke. And I can dig this shit.
Put your smoker's jacket on.
Fire up a nice Cuban or something.
Yeah, because everybody has one of those, right?
Dude. Cuban, send me one, man.
Yeah, I'm telling you.
That's on my fucking bucket list. I want to try a Cuban cigar.
Yeah, there you go. Shit.
I love cigars.
I just want to try a Cuban.
Oh, hey.
Sandwich?
Hey.
Go, that's a Reuben.
Wait a minute, we're getting off call.
Honestly, this conversation's been more entertaining than talking about those shitty books. But anyway, that's been the show. We appreciate you guys listening, and let us know what you think. Let us know if you got any suggestions. We'll promptly ignore them. No. All kidding aside, just let us know what you think on Twitter, and we appreciate your patronage.